Well, for more on this, I'm joined by cybersecurity expert John Casaretto. He's the founder and president of cybersecurity company BlackCert. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, explain the significance of this rollback, especially considering these Obama-era protections were never implemented.
Well, it appears that we're on a path towards a complete repudiation of everything that happened under Obama and the FCC during that era. There's a lot of outrage and a lot of misunderstanding about this, but there's a lot of these headlines that are completely wrong. And, you know, privacy is gone. It's been gone for a long time. What is really happening here is these markets are opening up. They're not really selling data per se. What they're selling is targeted marketing. So now these ISP companies are now on par with other companies that have been doing this for a long, long time, such as Google, such as Facebook. These are companies that are notorious for violating privacy and tracking you across the internet. And I think that's the big picture here, is that now your own ISP is going to be involved and integrated in the same kind of business.
So essentially you're saying that what these ISPs are doing isn't any different from what Google is already doing. So then why all the uproar?
Well, I think a lot of people feel a lot of threat from privacy, right? Like my browsing, it's very intimate, what you do and what you search for, what you shop for, and when you do it. So there's potential for a lot of information to leak that way. And when you combine that with this information that's going out there, you know, people feel very threatened.
So for critics who essentially see this rollback as equivalent to selling consumers' private info to the highest bidder and also potentially exposing them to hackers, how concerned should consumers be?
Well, I think we're entering into an era where internet usage becomes a very personal responsibility. Consumers have got all kinds of options and ways to protect themselves. Part of the way things currently are under the rules, before these rules were put in place, you can opt out of these things. It's not necessarily easy. I would recommend people to go and search how to opt out of this marketing, but there are ways for you to get out of this. But you can use technology such as a VPN, special browsers, you know, delete information. You know, there's ways to protect yourself from this, and I think that we're entering that era where you have to be responsible and use those things that you hear about all the time, like protecting your smartphone, protecting your passwords, using enhanced technologies like SSL, you know, when you shop, looking for those things, and just doing all those things that we consider safe nowadays.
So certainly more onus on the consumer now to be more proactive. Now, how does the US approach compare to, say, other countries and how they're handling internet privacy standards?
Well, in Europe, for example, the rules are very, very specific about retention and, you know, how much data can be kept and all these different things. So there's a high amount of regulation. Where compared to the way things are going now with the FCC, they're kind of taking a hands-off approach. So again, they're kind of backing off of this. And it's interesting because there is a new FCC commissioner, and we don't know exactly how they're going to really sway on this, where they're going to go this way or that way. But it appears from all indications and from this latest action that, you know, the regulation is going to loosen up. So there'll be an opportunity for competition. And let me tell you what that might mean to you, to the consumer. It might mean, you know, very targeted advertising, something that you might enjoy. Or it might mean, because that ISP now has another revenue income, right? Another stream of income, that your internet prices might go down. It's possible that at the end of this road that there might be what many people have wanted for a long time, is a decentralization and a breakup of the monopolies that you see across the country in these internet providers.
So possibly some good could come out of this. Now, what about the global implications? Can we expect other countries to take up the same mantle?
I think that's indeed a possibility. I think there's always a push for, spurring business and creating more opportunities and things like that. And I think that there already you'll see this in many type of businesses and different environments where, you know, the industry tends to follow what some of these regulations set forward. So, for example, browsers may begin to change to embrace this privacy technology, or this what many people perceive as a lack of privacy. They might become more secure in that regard, or your operating system. However, in different countries, because they have different rules and different purview into what people do,
right.
that may not exactly work. So there are some international implications.
All right, well, consumers beware, but thank you so much, John Casaretto, founder and president of cybersecurity company BlackCert.